Hey, welcome to the Toadstead. Yeah, this video is going to be a little different because, well, first of all, I'm actually in it. And had a good friend of mine say, hey, getting tired of looking at the ground, you should be showing yourself in a video. Like, wow, that's not something I really care to do. But this one's a little unique anyway. Now, a lot of times, we don't get to film things that as they actually happen. This is one of those instances. So what I'm going to do is I got some notes of some of the clips that I got for this particular subject, and I'll just intermingle this with the clips. Best I can do right now. This is an exciting time for us on the farm because we're making a big step forward for us. And what we did, I'll give you a little bit of the backstory. We are building our own home. We're building pretty much almost everything here as much as we possibly can. And when COVID hit, as some of you may have noticed, lumber prices went nuts. The materials list for our home, which I've had on my computer for a couple of years now, we were saving our money to build. And when COVID hit, the lumber went up over 140% in a 6-month span. Now, we had our savings, and we're waiting, blah, blah, blah. When that happened, it blew us away. There's just no way we could do that. Now, we were in the unique position that we're able to live while we're building a house in our construction trailer. So we had a conversation and said, what would be the best way to spend this money we've spent? We've started to save for the house to move forward in the post-COVID world. And the bottom line is we came up with the idea, let's go ahead and just buy a lumber mill. Let's get a sawmill. We have access to a lot of material. And it would take us, at the rate we're going, X amount of time to catch up to the price increase or a percentage of the price increase. We knew the prices were going to come back down at some point in time, but we also knew that they were not going to come back down to what they were pre-COVID, or at least we believe that, and we still believe that. As I'm talking to you here, it's been, in our part of the world, the COVID thing is starting to run down. Okay, I don't want to get into the politics of that, but the simple truth is things are starting to pick back up. But, of course, the prices have in nowhere near gone down to what they were pre. They've still increased dramatically. So we went ahead and we made that decision. And we purchased a Woodland Mills HM130 and then proceeded to wait for it to arrive. Because like everything else, and in these wood mills in particular, we're far from the only people who had this idea. So we had to wait. We waited about, I guess 5 months or something before we were contacted that the mill, which is built in Canada, has now made its way to upper New York State, so the shipping here to South Mississippi can begin. And we were I wanted to say right off the bat that Woodland Mills was great to work with, and still is great to work with. We've had a couple questions, talked to them, it's been great. The shipping, however, was interesting. Because yes, they sent us email saying it's on the truck, it's rolling, you can follow it step by step like any other tracking number. And they shipped it on a semi, obviously. And there was a request, right? A request to have it delivered to our farm in a smaller truck. You're not going to get a semi to where we are here. So we're watching the tracking number, and what do you know? They put it on a small truck in New Orleans, and it's out for delivery. So we cancel everything because they can't tell us exactly when. So I call him up. Is it coming today? Yes. I'm calling about 9 o'clock in the morning. And I says, can you give me any idea when? And a lot like the cable company, they said, well, sometime call after 1 o'clock and we'll tell you. Okay, because we have absolutely nothing better in the world to do whatsoever, we wait. Now, 1 o'clock comes around. Call them back up. Oh, it'll be there between 2 and 5. Okay? So we keep preparing. 5 o'clock comes and goes. Call them up about 10, 15 minutes after 5. And of course, the offices are closed, so now there's nothing to say. It still says on our tracking number, out for delivery. So we continue waiting because we don't know. Obviously, the shop closed at 5, but according to the tracking number, it's still out for delivery. I don't have a lot of experience with this particular shipping company. I probably won't name. I haven't decided yet because it is what it is. So, to make a long story short, nothing. No call, no updates, nothing. And about 8 o'clock that night, 8:30, my tracking number actually reverses course and they erase out for delivery and go back to, hey, it arrived in New Orleans, which I had known for about 24 hours. Okay, so we go to bed. 9 o'clock the next morning, I call him up. Oh, the driver ran out of time. He had to turn around. Right, okay. When are you going to bring it out? They said, well, we'll bring it out the day after tomorrow. Now I'm starting to get a little bit toasty over this because I've already lost an entire day's work waiting one day, and now they want me to reshuffle everything else, just throw something to do in tomorrow, then the next day. And I'm like, no, I need it now. I need you to deliver it. And they said, well, we don't have a small truck, but you can come to New Orleans and get it. Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. I said, why don't you just bring it out on a semi? And they're like, can we meet somewheres? Yeah, there's a major national truck stop not 6 miles from the farm. I'll meet. Can you meet me there? And they're like, yeah, sure. We'll bring it out on a semi. Can you tell me when? Well, the driver will call you half an hour, 45 minutes before he gets there. Again, they're assuming I'm just sitting around doing nothing and this is what I want. This is all I have in life to do. But at this point, I just want it. I don't care. So we hook up the trailer. We get everything all staged and ready to go for when the magic phone call comes. And it does. It comes, I forget what time, noonish, something like that. And I drive out to the truck stop and driver shows up. He's got a, 48-foot trailer with a Tommy lift or a lift gate on the back of it. And I back up to him. He folds out the lift gate and I put the trailer just under the lift gate so he can lower this right down to the trailer. This is a 20-foot flatbed, steel deck flatbed trailer, so it's quite well ready for this. So he opens up the back of his truck, gets in it, and the bloody thing's sideways. Obviously, because he just loaded it with a forklift and dropped it. Fine, except it's only about 4 inches narrower than the truck itself. Okay, so I'm watching this, and he goes and gets a pallet jack, puts the pallet jack underneath it, rolls the pallet jack out onto the lift gate, lowers the lift gate, and promptly gets the pallet jack stuck. Because the length of the pallet jack, it exceeds the length of the tailgate. And he's got it on there sideways. So now it can't go up and it can't go any further down. And driver, bless his heart, he just kind of looks at me with this, questioning look like, do you have a pallet jack on your trailer? No, actually, I don't own a pallet jack. Sorry. But we do have a winch on the trailer. Now, we put the winch on the trailer a long time ago in anticipation of being able to use it to draw large logs onto the trailer and cars, because we do carry cars on the trailer occasionally. And I said, hey, look, I got a winch. So wrap the winch right around the bloody thing and pulled it onto the trailer. Now, there's a clip coming here that just, I don't show the driver for obvious reasons, but all I took this clip for was to point out where there had been some damage on the side of the box. And right after that is when he got the thing stuck. So just check that out real quick. All right, so as you can see, the box is really large, and it has a steel cage lining, and then it's got cardboard on the outside, steel cage on a pallet, and then cardboard on the inside. So we drag the thing onto the trailer, bring it home. Oh, did I mention it was raining? Yeah, it's raining at this point in time, and threatening rain back and forth. So it's kind of raining on and off. So all I cared about at this moment in time is to get the bloody thing home and get it unloaded. And now I'm starting to wonder, because this thing's a whole lot bigger than I expected it to be. And of course, there were boxes piled on top of it because we got some extra things along with it. Some of those things were blades, a parts kit, a smaller cant hook, because we need two. Just a few different, 5 or 6 little boxes on top of this crate. So I get it back to the house, and I'm sorry, there's just no time to set up, a bunch of video stuff. We got to get this stuff in the shop, because, of course, number one, we're like kids on Christmas morning in one way, and in the other way, we're like the parents that open the Christmas present get their Christmas present ready for their child, and it says some assembly required, and the sum of that phrase is really subjective, because you open it up and you realize you're going to spend a couple hours on Christmas Eve assembling the dang toy so your kid can have it. So that's where we were. At that point in time, we just began unloading stuff. And there were a few parts we couldn't even carry, like the track systems bits. We got it with a 10.5-foot track from the factory, and then added a 6-foot extra length track to it. And those two boxes with the track in it were amazingly heavy. They didn't make it into the shop. They actually got stuck outside and just left close to where the thing was going to go. And when we finally got to the crate itself and opened it up, there's what I call the power head, which is just the band saw itself, the motor, and the mount. And the only thing we had to take it out was, for those of you who know anything about tractors, was a boom lift that's used on the 3-point hitch. And we were able just to lift that entire thing out of its box, bring it around, and put it on cinder blocks, basically, so it wouldn't fall over, in the shop, and get all the other boxes in the shop. And then I did a real quick video thing, which I'll show you right here. Yeah. Whew. Check it out. Okay, I know you probably watched all the videos, but yeah, ours is sitting here. This is the Woodland Mills HM130MAX. And I sound winded because I am. We ended up going to get this thing, and I'll probably show you the packing later, but bottom line, it was on a pallet well over 6 feet long, about 3 feet wide, 1,300 pounds, plus all the, includes all the stuff that came with it. And we just wanted to get it under cover. It was raining when we went and got it. Not going to get into the shipping, which has nothing to do with Woodland Mills and a whole lot to do with the, issues. So, but it's here. It's in the shop. All the bits. We literally just got done about 5 minutes ago, and there's a few other bits that weigh a ton. They're the tracks that are out there in the vicinity of where it's going to be set up. But for right now, we're just going to start unboxing everything, and I know I got to lay this down, so we got to get the tractor out and do all that. But whew, boy, 1,300 pounds of stuff. We'll be back in a minute. Okay, so we're trying to get as much as we can get done, and it's raining on and off. So we managed to get the power head, if you will, the actual bandsaw part of it. Quick explanation: it's just a big machine that sits on 4 rollers that roll along the track, and this is how the whole machine works. So during the rainy bits, we got that assembled in the shop, which did entail more use of the boom lift because we had to tip it over, put all the pieces on, tip it back into place. And I don't know if it's in the video part, but I actually put the wheel sections on backwards. So later on, it's not on video, but we actually had to take that bottom half apart, take those two big heavy steel roller bits and reverse them so it would actually be on the track. And in a few respites between rain, we were able to put the 10-foot section of the track together next to where we eventually were originally thinking about putting the machine itself permanently. We knew that we were going to have to mill some of the bits to set the machine up permanently. I know, kind of a catch-22 there. So we got it set up pretty much, I'm not going to say it's half-assed, but it's safe, but it could have been better because it was just temporary, so we wouldn't worry about it. And then we again used the boom lift with the tractor to go out and actually place the finished head on the track. And there's a little bit of that.
All right. Well, the tractor's probably still kind of loud. We literally just dropped, pardon me, we just dropped the head down, saw itself down on the track. All right, let's get my tractor out of here and we'll see. So, yeah, the lifting rings, they worked pretty good. And then I used that old boom lift. That was not the plan. We were gonna have a tractor out here with a set of forks on it. But thanks to my buddy Harold and his boom lift, we got it on there. So let's get the tractor put away.
All right, so once we got it all together, we had some smaller bits, and we went ahead and did a little bit of milling. Again, sorry, just there will be footage coming of the actual mill being used. But right now, this is more of an introduction, how it's set up, and I know I'm going to have a part 2 that shows a little bit more about how a lot of the bits came together, not of the mill, but just the mill, but the trailer, the tractor, some placements, and a couple decisions we made along the way. Because, you know, you can only plan so much by, you know, looking on the internet at the product, looking at people who use it. Again, I want to have a great shout out to Sawing with Sandy, because he has a 2-year-old version of the same machine we got, and if nothing else, it was really inspiring to be able to watch his videos and see what he's doing. And he's, of course, had the machine for a couple of years, so he's done some things that we may be looking into as we go along. We're brand new. So I just want to thank you for coming along and watching this and putting up with my BS. And I promise the next video will have less of me and more of the setup. Y'all have a great day, and we'll see you next time around.